What's up guys, and welcome to the Surfing Connoisseur. The World Surf League are off to Trestles for the 8th event of the 2017 World Tour. Here are my fancy surfer picks. So as I film this, we're already actually in the waiting period for the event. It's going to run between the 6th and the 17th of September. We've got the men's and the women's events to get through. So despite a poor surf forecast for the first half of the window really, the women did run today. The surf for the first portion of the window is looking pretty small, with a bit of a pulse towards the back end of it. But obviously with so many heats to run, there's a good chance we're going to get through some of the event in smaller surf. The wave itself at Trestles breaks over cobblestone reef. It provides left and right hand waves. The right hand wave is more of a running wave, giving a lot of face to work with and giving you really the possibility to any type of manoeuvre on the face you want. The left hand is a bit shorter, a bit more powerful, a bit punchier, and is used by the surfers trying to do more progressive manoeuvres. As always, I'm going to start with my Surf Mag team, and then I'll jump after that into my World Surf League team. I'm opening my team up with Geordie Smith. The last two times he's competed at Trestles, he's won the event. Of course, he didn't compete in 2015 due to a back injury. He's got a pretty good run of form at Trestles in particular, and let's not forget he's having a hell of a year, by far his best year on tour. He's going into the event in the leader's jersey, which not only reflects his current form, but also means he should have some pretty favourable heat draws in the early half of the event. My next pick is Filipe Toledo. He's going to be super heavily picked, no doubt. The fact that Trestles is described as a skate park, you think what surfer is going to surf best there, you're going to go straight to Filipe Toledo. Not to mention, couple that with the fact that he lives there nowadays, so calls it his home break, and the fact that the surf's forecast to be small, and Filipe Toledo really is a no-brainer of a selection. To back that up, he's got semi-finals to his name in 2016 and a quarter-finals finish in 2015, and his round 3 exit in 2014 doesn't look as bad as it first sounds when you look at the fact that he actually drew the heat with Adriano de Souza, so it was a super close heat. Speaking of Adriano de Souza, he is my next selection. Adriano, as I say in almost every video, is just super consistent in any type of wave, particularly in waves like this though, which allow him to go to the face, and particularly if it's small. I don't necessarily think Adriano is the best small wave surfer, but one thing about him is he doesn't lose his motivation like some of the other big names on tour, and he will put every last drop of effort into milking every last tenth of a point out of a wave, which really does help him get through those heats, particularly the close ones, which you always get more in the smaller waves where there's less to tell surfers apart and everyone's doing similar manoeuvres. Apart from Filipe Toledo, of course. Setting aside his shocker in 2016, he was runner-up in 2015 and made it to the quarters in 2014. Speaking of shockers, in 2016, my next selections are Mick Fanning, who I have had since the start of the year, so I have at a super low price. But even if you haven't had him from the start of the year, you can still get him at a pretty good price. So he's a good selection, although he's likely again to be widely selected. As I touched on, his 2016 result wasn't great, however, he won the event in 2015 and made the semis in 2014. My next selection is really down to pricing, but also the fact that he has a pretty varied run of form at almost every stop on tour. It's Nat Young. He's $1,500 and has a lot more tour experience than a lot of the people in his price bracket. He also made the quarterfinals at Trestles in 2015, so it's proven that he's capable of putting in a strong result there. Next up, I'm going for Gabriel Medina. He is within striking distance of the title, technically still. That said, with so many guys in the running for it, it's unlikely he's going to be one of the final few battling out for it. But with the smaller surf forecast, he really has got to be one of the stronger contenders. He can put together long runs of manoeuvre on the right-hander, or he can go for really progressive stuff on the left-hander. So he ticks all the boxes. And as far as previous form's concerned, he made the quarters in 2014, the semis in 2015, but was took out early to Tanner Gudauskas in 2016. However, they both had 17 range heat scores, so it's not as if he put in a really shocking heat there. Next up, Wiggly Dontas. He's been a pretty regular selection for me this year, primarily because of where he sits in the price range. I think he's capable of putting in good results still for that price, although he's another guy that just varies massively. He's not consistent, is probably the best way of wording it. I have him slightly cheap as well, which is another sort of deal sweetener for me, that it's just harder to let someone go when you've got them at a good price. I also feel, and this applies for a few of my other selections like Gabriel too, that he's got a strong backhand. And when the surf's small, backhanders just seem to get scored better, and I always get really annoyed about it because They've been just as repetitive as the forehanders, but it's easier for them to whack off harder turns. Whack off. But it's easier for them to hit off more turns looking more powerful than it is a forehander, kind of. It certainly appears that way to watch, and it appears that the judges score that better. So I'm going to try and capitalise on that, and that's one of the reasons Wiggly's made my selection. He also has a quarterfinal to his name in 2015, so he's proven that he is capable of making a few heats in the break. Rounding off my Surf Mag team, I'm going for Kanoe Igarashi. Of the guys in his price bracket, I think he's got a fairly good round one heat draw that gives him the possibility of progressing. He's up against Sebastian Zeitz and Conor O'Leary. Now, I'm not forgetting that Conor's had a pretty consistent year, especially for a rookie on tour, but just of all the heats in general, with potential of small surf, I think there's definitely the chance of him making a heat or two. Jumping over to the World Surf League, as always, I've tried to keep my team fairly similar because all the stats I've just said, which made me want to pick these guys, apply likewise. Tier A, I've been able to manage that pretty well with Geordie Smith, Gabriel Medina. Tier B, I've had to mix things up slightly. I've been able to retain Mick Fanning, Wiggly Dontas and Philippe Toledo. However, for my fourth rider, I've gone for Conor O'Leary. As I touched on previously, he's had a pretty consistent year as a rookie on tour, always managing to make a couple of heats, and also managing to make the top 10 on the rankings as a whole. Coupling these things together with the fact that he has a pretty low pick percentage is what's really sealed the deal for me. Rounding off my tier C, I have been able to retain Nat and Kanoa from my previous description, so if you want the reason for that, scroll it back and listen to what I said earlier in this video when I told you why they're in my other team. Before I disappear guys, 2 shout outs. I want to shout out Ocean Yeti, who is heading up the Surfer Mag version Fantasy Surfer Clubhouse that we have going, and also Flounder Pounder, who is heading up the World Surf League version. Congratulations to you guys, we're over halfway through the season, so there's not too much longer for you guys to hold on to it now. If you're not already a member of our clubhouses, check out the description below for the links. The more the merrier, as they say. I've recently been asked by a couple of people to do a video about my quiver, so I'm going to be filming that in the next week or so, hopefully. If you want to see that and you're not already subscribed to the channel, click this circle button down here. It will subscribe you to the channel, so you will see when that and any future videos go live. If before you make that decision you want to see something else we've done, click this rectangle up there and it'll take you to something we've filmed previously. As always, thank you very much for watching guys, best of luck with Fantasy Surfer, and I'll see you soon.